Excuse me, I was just chewing my medication. You know, everybody has a little of that. Oh, hey, hello, Pop-Tarts of the universe. You seekers of the infinite big note. With a little flag. The clocks have struck that magical 4:20 hour again, and we find ourselves, you and me, in a new year on this weary orb. But Califinga! At least we made it back to the return to the Perfumed Gardens. Woohoo! With that big note himself, me, Rik Strange. Okay, so let's jump on in right away. I gotta turn up the blender to 11 this time, with some seriously undiscovered Whackville tunes today, baby. It's all over the map, but it's gonna be way cool. So, first up, we got some frantic, and I mean frantic with a capital R. Prior to that was an F. That pour on the coals, pretty heavy, man. The singer is some amped up crooner with high voltage vocals, and he's backed with a crowd of out of order space daubers. They're a Jurassical rock and roll punk psych artifact. Can you dig that one? Pretty cool. The name for my ravings they're called The Human Expression. And they're from Los Angeles in that great year of '66. You know, everybody's talking about Revolver and all that kind of stuff coming out then, so there you go. Let's needle drop into a primordial soup of an LP composed of 45s and demos called Love at a Psychedelic Velocity. Ooh. So dig on the title tuner and just hang on to a dream and do the do-what-dee.
Keep you satisfied like a devil.
far down the rabbit hole. I got to do this thing because I just remembered I showed this last week on the tuber. I didn't realize, I forgot because I hadn't seen this for a while. This is a bootleg copy that, it's never going to be officially released. My goodness, it's definitely X rated, and I'm so glad that, well, maybe you did. You can always run the last episode back and see some of the naughty bits that are showing up on the screen, but you gotta look really hard because you're not gonna see it. Anyway, enough of that. And as another sidebar, you may notice something that looks like a dust mop running around. Don't worry about it. That's Iggy. He came along for the ride today. So, let's show you the record that we were just listening to. And it's on the Mississippi Records label. Nothing too fantastical. I like the cover, though. I like the front more so than the back. Anyway, let's talk about this. Man, these cats are giving my epidermal layers goosebumps. Ooh, especially that singer. Woo! These swingers are remnants. No, remnants? No, they're not remnants. They're reminiscent. That's the word I'm trying to say. Of the 13th floor elevator. It's awful early for this. They're reminiscent of the 13th floor elevators, in my opinion. Now, don't hate me for this, but I think these cats are better compared to the first LP by the 13th floor elevators. There's a bunch of jelly-fried efforts turning the, excusez-moi, I'm really having a problem today. I'm pretty flummoxed. There's some, on this LP, there's some really jelly-fried efforts. And they turn on the optical sound barrier, baby. It's really happening. That tune you just heard, that was a 45, and it cranks, baby. There's another one on there where the guitars, and nothing, you're not, don't be listening for Hendrix or some really spaced out stuff as far as guitar playing goes. It's just humdinger garage punk. That's really where this is at. Getting back to their comparison to the 13th floor elevators, I gotta say that the thing that I didn't really like about the elevators on the first LP was that jug band thing, or electric jug he was playing, that he was playing, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. I think it distracted, but anyway, that's just me talking, and I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. And so, moving on to the next one. These gents coming up next are, there's 4 jacks and a Jill in this one, hey baby. And they ram it harder than a rabbit on a date. Woo! Get it? And here comes Peter Cottontail. Get it? Got it? Good. Woo! This leap of faith on this particular record is a band from Cleveland, Ohio, in 1967, and they're called December's Children. Once again, we are calling on the Mainstream label, for another platter. Whew, those guys signed everybody in town. This record is more of a rock LP with a touch of psych and huge vocal harmonies. Can you say Strawberry Alarm Clock? My favorite tune off this record is called Too Early to Be Late. That's something I've never been labeled. So, on with the show. along, honey. Woo! Hey, here's the cover, and it is a very out there. I mean, there's like 3 Buddhas sitting around some kind of a, I don't know. It looks like a telephone. Yeah, check that out. It looks like a telephone. It is a telephone. Wow, a call from the great beyond on the astral plane. Ooh, talk about long distance. Anyway, you know, this groove that I just played kind of reminds me a bit of the Ultimate Spinach kind of groove, you know, drifting out there on the rings of Saturn kind of thing with a subtle hint of guitar weirdness. Yeah, this is a competent LP, not amazingly out there, but it's good. I gotta say one thing though, that the guitarist must have had a coupon for 50% off a wah-wah pedal, because it's overloaded on this LP. Woohoo! What does a wickedometer say? Well, it says, I'd say it's a nice 7. Nice effort, but I wouldn't buy it again. What? I did. I already bought it. Oh, anyway, you know that old saying, right hot dog, wrong bun? Mm-hmm. Oh. Anyway, well, that's for another story. This next hole in the wall gang came from the great northern area of Canada. Ooh, to be exactly, they were from Montreal. Ooh. They all migrated down to New York City, and they made Nicey Nice with a New York native guitarist called Sonny Haynes. And they originally called themselves the Funk Farm. You know, hey, that's kind of cool. They struck a deal with who else? Mainstream. And to their what the hooda, the Mainstream label, when the record was released, changed their name to Stone Circus. And that's who you're going to listen to. I'm dragging the stylus across the track called Inside Outside Man. It's interesting. I've done my shirts that way. And my drawers. Anyway, so sit back, grab something in the dark, and it might be yours. Whew. You walk inside, you're a reflection. No self-excuse of all your actions. Watching time refine with my broken heart. Inside out there, what's your name? In a dream you ride around the thoughts for others there. Introspection is your down the look, just there. Well, that ain't nothing a night at the Brain Hotel couldn't cure. Don't go there. Let's look at the record cover. That's the front, and the back is the same, only it's in black and white. Yeah. Anyway, pretty good. You know, geez, this LP is a gathered group of diverse attitudes, musical attitudes. I mean, they just don't always work together. Lots of B3 organ, which isn't a bad thing, and a bunch of fuzzy button guitar, and that's good stuff. And sometimes I get traces of aorta, and you know, that's not a bad thing. Old Goat just purchased a copy of that at a, I don't know, garage sale or some kind of place, and you know, he's raving about it, and I talked about it before. It is a great album, and they kind of remind me of that. So let's see, I lost my train of thought. Oh man, the train's always leaving the station, and I'm standing there holding my bag. You know, with my magnetic gauge, the way it is set these days with musical choices, I kind of like this LP the more I spin it. Wasn't too crazy about it in the beginning. Didn't get a lot of raves on the internet when I was digging up information on these guys. But, you know, I think what you really need to do is they do like a really spaced out psych tune at the end on the second side. It's called People I Once Knew. And wow, that creation is an epic tailgater. It's a whole wild situation where they talk in the beginning, and then they get into this really cool psychedelic thing that redeems the album a lot. I think there's some good cuts on here, so give it a try. You know, if you can find it. I kind of doubt it. You're going to have to get this one online. This has been laying around collecting dust for probably over 2 or 3 years. I just never brought it out of the cabinet. Once I bought it, I listened to it, and I'm going, eh. You know, you can't just give everything one shot. You got to listen to it a bit. Anyway, so much for that. That's today's lesson. Let's throw some more shrimp on the Barbie, and light up some knowledge, if you know what I mean. Let's grab one more from that mainstream label, shall we? They My Gardeners are a true folk psych masterpiece. And it's one of the better ones that were released in '68 from mainstream. Believe it or not, this is a 7-piece amalgamation, and it's called The Growing Concern. Well, they made Chicago their home base, and they wrapped these tomes, T-O-M-E-S, how about that? Let's give you some pinky up when you're drinking your coffee. You get a little class around here. Some real heavy lush to their material. And I don't mean some barfly lush. I mean vocals from a girl named Bonnie McDonald and Mary, this is a Chicago name, Mary Gartricki? Yeah, I could see them being from Chicago. I'm not dumping on Chicago, I'm just saying ethnicity from Chicago is a whole lot of Polish people, and that's cool because I got that in my family and we love Polish food. Where am I going? I don't know. I lost my way. I'm down the rabbit hole again. Woohoo! So, let me show you the path to Trippy Town vibes with a great one off this LP called Edge of Time. Hey baby, the check's in the mail. Ow! Oompa Loompa. Woo! Hey, shades of Barry Melton, the fish guy from the Country Joe Band, on guitar there. It sounds just like him on their second LP. I mean, it's there. It is there, baby. This ain't no bad day at Black Rock here, man. This is rock, baby. This is good rock. Side 2 has a few redos of some cover tunes. Let's look at the record first before we get too far. They do Mr. You're a Better Man Than I and Sit Down, I Think I Love You. Yeah, it's the same. Well, this is kind of cool. Let me do this one. That's the band. This guy, they must have only had the money in the budget for like one picture, because all you got is his eye and it looks like his ear. I'm sure he loved that. Not. Got that there, camera girl? Okay. Once again, it's the Mainstream label, and they are just plowing them up, I'm telling you. Anyway, about those redos of Mr. You're a Better Man Than I, I'm not so sure about that one, because I'm such a big Yardbirds fan. Not bad though. But they do, the girls do a really good version of, oh jeez, I already forgot. Sit Down, I Think I Love You. It's a Stephen Stills tune from Buffalo Springfield days. Very good. They're very good vocals on this LP. And like I say, it's a psych folk thing, and it works really well. The whole thing works good. It was really a well put together, well thought out, well produced record. I got to say, find that one, obviously on the internet. It's a repress. They're pretty inexpensive. Well, what ain't? I mean, what is, I should say. When you speak that, you're speaking the $20 range or less. And it's high quality, good pressing. Well, the clocks on the walls and the floors say it's high time we move on. So, today's background entertainment has been brought to you by Tomita. Now, I'm not sure. I'd have to Googlefy and see how many records he put out. But, baby, he's got a toninsky of these out there. This one's called the Bermuda Triangle. I enjoy putting his stuff on with maybe not too much light in the room and just sort of groove back into my chair. Hey, you know, I've been to the Bermuda Triangle. And, in fact, some people think I came from the Bermuda Triangle. But this cat never disappoints. So, I close today's experience with this pithy, sophistical interlude. Since I didn't send out any kind of a message on New Year's Eve, mainly because I left the planet big time, whoosh, out there, baby. I want to say this. This is probably what I would have said on New Year's Eve, because I was somewhat coherent from moment to moment. Anyway, you know, you can have all the vinyl in the world, man, and all that money that goes with it, you know, but it wouldn't be any more worth that than a mountain of spent uranium-238. In other words, your value and your legacy is all about how you treat other humans on this orb. And I mean all people, not just those you surround yourself with, like family. Family's important, but you gotta love complete strangers on the road of life, because you're gonna meet a lot of them, and someone's always got it worse than you. Believe me, I know. So, this year instead, this is gonna be my, what do you call it? When you make a promise?
Resolution?
Yeah, the resolution for the new year. I wanna say, make something easy. Don't try to, I mean, you should make something hard, like, you know, bad habit that you may have. Oh boy, let's not go there. But something that, you know, is really, really worthwhile doing, that you know, I know personally you can do, because I do it all the time. Try doing something easier. Be more understanding and be open-minded about the masses out there, baby. The ones that are outside your door. Please, we got to do this. Peace and love never go out of style. Topper once told me a quote from Ling Bai, and that's a Chinese form of healing that's been around for thousands of years. And the quote, I hope I'm going to get this right, and it goes, how shall I compare this life of ours? Even before I can say a lightning flash or a dewdrop, it's over. You know, in other words, live in the moment. And I promised myself that's the other thing I'm going to do more of this year. I have to live in the moment, because that's what's important. Life is fleeting. That's what this is all about. Remember, we are all one, and this just, I can't get this through enough. I don't want to preach, so I'm just going to end this. Remember that we are all one, and make every day count. I love you. Thank you for your subs. Thank you for giving me comments. You know, I'm always there. I'm always long-winded. I don't know how long this one ran, but who cares? This is my therapy session, baby. Just glad you could stop in and see how well I'm doing. I love you. Until the twain shall meet. Peace.